Our next guest believes that bad and biased media are reporting of it has possibly hurt Mr. Moore's election in some ways, but in many ways made it much more possible that he would win. Let's bring in Hugo Gurdon, editorial director for the Washington Examiner. Hugo, great to see you here.
Nice to be here.
So we've seen some of the criticism now, and you saw the Congressman Gohmert also talking about ways in which he thinks that Roy Moore will have a victory here. And your thoughts are, and I don't know if you term it fake media or what it is in your book, but it's actually helped his cause.
No, I think that what has happened is this. Roy Moore has always been recognized by a lot of people around him as an unattractive, unappealing character. But the reporting of the last month or 6 weeks during which the sexual harassment allegations and the sexual abuse allegations had come up, the media have kind of commingled two different things. One is the actual offences that he is alleged to have committed, the sexual contact with a 14-year-old, and there was also the allegations about him trying to force a young woman into having some kind of sexual encounter in a car. Those are actual offences, but the media has kind of mingled that with a complete disregard for the difference in the culture of Alabama 30 or 40 years ago. Right in the first Washington Post story, two of the four women recounted that their mothers were actually rather pleased, in fact delighted, that they were dating Roy Moore. One of the women said that her mother regarded Roy Moore as marriage material and allowed her to stay out later beyond her curfew to date Roy Moore. The other woman said that her mother, when she heard that she was dating Roy Moore, said, "You're the luckiest girl in the world." And I think the point here is that in rural America at that time and in Alabama, it wasn't unusual, let alone automatically disreputable, for a teen and a 30-year-old man to be dating. Frank Luntz did a focus group just recently, and there were people in the focus group saying that their grandmothers had married at age 13 and 14 and that sort of thing. So I think that by mixing these things up, the media has probably prompted a number of voters in Alabama to think this is just the elite opinion formers of the Northeast, and they're just, they are scorning and sneering at us deplorables, and this might mean they'll give Roy Moore a pass for the things that might actually have been offences.
You know what's interesting? I'm going to take some grief. I'm already ready for it on Twitter right now and other social media for having this conversation, but I'm from the South, so as I listen to you, originally I am, whether those things were right or wrong in the past, we can have very good conversation about that today, but we should not ignore the fact that that is part of the past. It's just like any other part of our past. It's a good discussion to have and to really look at where things were and where they are. And we certainly can overlay, like tapestry, what our value system is now. But to start at baseline, I think, is very important.
Yeah, I think it is important. And to have that conversation is not to excuse any offences.
Right, and that's not what you're doing.
Exactly. And I don't know whether Roy Moore committed these offences. Certainly the reporting on the original Washington Post story and some subsequent reporting has been extremely good and fairly convincing. And if he wins election, there should be an ethics investigation, and he should be made to defend himself and answer these allegations, which he has clearly not done so far.
So, just to kind of further what we're talking about here, a grown woman's recollection of that would be different too. So we can't say whether or not any of that played a role in these women's journeys. And you hear the call for the women to be heard, the rally cry around the country, and even in some places in Alabama too.
Yeah, look, one of the mothers in the first story by the Washington Post mentioned, as I said, that she said that her daughter was the luckiest girl in the world. The reason that she said that was in response to her daughter saying, "What would you say if I told you that I was having a date, dating a 30-year-old?" So there's been this question, but there hasn't been the automatic answer that this is an absolutely disreputable, disgraceful thing to happen.
All right. Hugo, great to have you here today. Deep discussion. Thank you very much.